Learn English Podcast.
Okay, so if you've ever tried learning another language, there's that point where the smallest words, they suddenly feel like the hardest.
Absolutely. It's a universal experience, I think.
And today we're doing a deep dive into exactly those English prepositions, the little words that cause, the biggest headaches for learners. Our mission really is to try and shift away from just like memorizing rules that feel arbitrary.
Towards something more concrete, a framework you can actually use.
Exactly, a cognitive framework.
And that headache you mentioned, it's completely justified. The core challenge is something linguists call polysemy.
Polysemy, okay.
Yeah, that was a bit academic, but it just means one tiny word, like at, for instance.
Yeah.
It might have maybe up to 18 different jobs in the language.
18. Wow. Okay, so let's unpack that. The problem isn't really grasping the basic idea. It's the sheer functional overload.
Precisely. And that's why trying to translate directly from your first language, what we call L1 interference,
Right.
it falls apart almost immediately. The logic doesn't map.
So we need to stop seeing prepositions just structurally, as just the word before a noun.
Yeah, that definition is really limiting.
And start thinking functionally. What is this word actually doing? They're like the relational glue, right? Connecting parts of the sentence.
That's a great way to put it, the relational glue.
Yeah.
And if we look at the structure, the basic building block isn't the single word itself.
Uh-huh.
It's the whole prepositional phrase. So
Yeah.
the preposition plus the noun or pronoun that follows its object.
Okay, so like under the warm blanket, that whole chunk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Under the warm blanket. And we really advise learners to treat all forms, even complex ones like in front of or because of.
Right, the phrasal one.
Yeah, treat them as single vocabulary items right from the start. Don't try to break them down too much initially. Just learn the chunk.
Got it. So once you have that phrase, that chunk, what does it do in the bigger sentence?
Well, it generally acts in one of two ways. Either like an adjective, modifying a noun.
Okay, give me an example.
Like the student with the highest score. The highest score tells us which student.
Right, modify a student.
Okay.
And the other way.
It acts like an adverb, modifying a verb, usually, telling you how, when, where.
Like the team celebrated after the victory tells us when they celebrated.
Exactly. Adjective or adverb. That's its job.
Oh, okay. So this is where I think the framework really starts to help, especially with those tricky ones like in, on, and at.
Yes. This is probably the most useful cognitive pattern to grasp. Instead of 3 separate lists for time and place, realize English uses this consistent hierarchy. It moves from general to specific.
Like a funnel.
Sort of, yeah. Think about place first. In is the most general. It suggests volume, containment, a boundary around something.
So in Canada, in the refrigerator, in a box, big areas or enclosed spaces.
Then you narrow down to on. This implies contact with a surface or being on a line.
Like on the table on Main Street, on the bus.
Exactly. Surfaces, lines, even public transport often uses on.
Okay. And the most specific?
That's AT. It's like a pinpoint, a specific location, an address, an event.
At 221B Baker Street. At the library. At the concert.
Perfect. And what's really elegant is how this exact same logic, general to specific, applies to time.
Ah, right. So IN for big chunks. Centuries, years, months. In the 21st century, in May.
On N for more specific days and dates. On Monday, on July 4th.
And AT for the precise point in time. At 5 p.m. at midnight.
You got it. That spatial logic carries right over. It's a really consistent pattern once you see it.
That framework is genuinely helpful.
Right.
Okay, what about other relationships? Like movement?
Good question. There are subtle but important distinctions there, too. Take to versus towards.
Okay.
If you say, I walked to the school, it implies you arrived. destination reached.
Right, completed action.
But I walk towards the school, which just indicates the direction. Maybe you got there, maybe you didn't. The focus is just on the general path.
Subtle but clear difference in meaning. And you mentioned another crucial one, especially for like formal or academic writing, the agent versus the instrument.
Yes. This is a classic error pattern, mixing up by and with.
Why is that so common, do you think?
Well, honestly, because many other languages might use the same preposition for both concepts. English insists on separating them.
Okay, so break it down.
The agent, that's the person or thing doing the action, especially in passive sentences, takes by. The symphony was composed by Mozart. Mozart's the agent.
Got it. The doer, by.
And the instrument, the tool or object used to perform the action, takes with. The document was signed with a special pen. The pen is the instrument.
Okay. Composed by Mozart, signed with a pen. Mixing those up really changes the meaning, or at least sounds awkward.
It loses precision, definitely.
So we've got these cognitive patterns, these hierarchies. Inonat, towards, by with. They seem pretty logical, so why the emphasis on moving beyond rules later? You mentioned chunking.
Right. It sounds a bit contradictory, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not really abandoning the logic. It's recognizing that language isn't just logic. It's also convention, idiom.
Meaning, you can't always figure it out.
Exactly. You can use the spatial logic for in the box, but you can't logically deduce why we say depend on someone or why you're responsible for something.
Okay. Those are just fixed pairings, allocations.
Precisely. Verb plus preposition pairs, adjective plus preposition pairs, fixed phrases like in advance or on purpose. There's no deep spatial logic there usually. It's just how English works.
So the path to real fluency, to mastery, involves learning these chunks as single items, memorizing them.
Yes, it's crucial, especially, as you said, for academic writing or any context where grammatical precision matters. You need to know those fixed phrases.
So the overall takeaway seems to be start with the cognitive logic, the spatial patterns, understand the why.
Absolutely. Embrace that cognitive linguistics idea. See the core spatial meaning like containment for in, and then watch how it gets stretched metaphorically to abstract ideas, like being in the box versus being in trouble.
That makes sense. A foundation of logic layered with the necessary memorization of idioms.
That's the journey.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. We know learners often struggle with interference. Maybe putting a preposition where English doesn't need one, like saying, discuss about the plan.
A very common one. Just discuss the plan.
Or leaving one out when it is needed. So considering that, think about how prepositions actually sound in fast natural English. They're often unstressed, phonologically weak, sometimes barely audible.
Right, they get reduced. Four becomes fair, two becomes two.
Exactly. So how might that very auditory weakness, the fact that they're hard to hear clearly sometimes, contribute to the difficulty in actually noticing them, internalizing them, and using them correctly yourself? Think about the soundscape, not just the textbook rules.